This is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. What am I riding? Same thing as last time. Yeah, I'm riding a Magicycle Deer 26-inch step-over model. There it is. Green one. Bring it back up here. Yeah, as I mentioned last time, I'm riding bikes to bring the batteries down. I have 2 batteries for this bike, so I am riding it on the 2nd battery right now, trying to bring it down and level, because you have to. During the fall, this is my normal procedure. Got to bring it down. You don't want to be at 100%. My battery right now is sitting at 100%. And the 2nd battery. Yeah, you want to be around maybe 70, something like that. 65, 70, something like that. So I'm throttling all of these. I'm not pedaling any of these bikes as I'm taking them out for this, because throttling will eat up more of your battery quicker. Hey Russ, you throttle all the time. Yeah, I do. But I usually pedal on the way home. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throttle the entire time. Bring it down. The 70% is not under load. It's 70% in the relaxed state, where it's not actually being utilized for anything. You should read about 70, something like that. Safer for your batteries in the long run. Some people do this all the time. I think this past year I was trying my best not to always charge the batteries up, and some of the rides that I was doing, oh, my battery is low, because I forgot to recharge it before taking it out. But you got to do it, yeah. And I have a number of bikes, of course, to bring that level down. I mentioned in the last video that, I would rather try to get my bike inventory level down to maybe 5 or 7 bikes, something like that. Because I know there's always new ones coming eventually. And right now, I think we're sitting at about 16, something like that. I'd like to bring that down. So if you're looking for an e-bike now, okay, I've lowered the prices dramatically on my bikes. If you go to the russisright.com website, it'll redirect you to russisright.blogspot.com, and then all of the bikes that are currently for sale are there. Yeah, so we have a lot of different ones up there. We've got Magicycle bikes up there. We've got lectric bikes up there. We've got Himiway bikes on there. Is there any other brands on there? I don't know. We've sold through several different brands. So I would like to bring some of these things down. What about the one you're riding, Russ? I don't know if I'd sell this one. I've sold through most of my Magicycle bikes, which surprises most people because I've usually kept them. But I'm realizing that I can't keep everything, and I've got to make room for others. So some of the older bikes I've sold through. This bike is still a current model, although this one that I have is the 1st generation of them. It's probably the first ones that came out. So current versions are torque sensor / cadence sensor versions, so they have both. This one is only a cadence sensor version, does not have torque sensor on it. But that's okay with me. As you know, I usually like riding in cadence sensor, although there's some of the new bikes out now, the torque sensors are so good on them, I leave them on torque. Some of the electric bikes are like that. I feel real good on them, so I leave them on torque. But this one, I don't think I would be able to, well, maybe if they had the torque / cadence sensor, I might try the torque, but I've tried the torque and cadence sensor on the other bikes they offered with it, like the Oslop Pro 2.0 and the Deer 2.0. I still gravitated towards the cadence sensor from Magicycle. So I'm okay with that. And I just wanted to keep at least one Magicycle bike that is a full-size bike, because Magicycle was the first company that offered me a bike, to review. So I would like to keep at least one of their models. So this is the one I decided to keep. Yeah. The original Cruiser that they gave me, that was sold a while ago. That was the very first review bike I ever had. I sold my Rad Rover 5 to the same person. Yeah, so he has he's got some history with him. He's got my Rad Rover 5 and my very first review bike, the Magicycle Cruiser. Yeah, he's got them both. I think this battery, since it's been sitting for the whole year, I've never even used it for a year, it's dropping fairly quickly. It's not, I guess it wasn't holding the charge as well as I thought it might. Under load, it's already at 81%. We haven't really gone that far, but I've been throttling the entire time, and anytime you throttle the whole time, your battery will drop. This is why I'm not pedaling. I'm trying to lower the batteries, right? You should do that too. Remind you again, do that too. See, this bike, what I like about it is I got baskets for it. I didn't ask for baskets for a lot of the bikes that I've been getting. With Magicycle, I always tried to get a basket for them. Not all of them, but pretty much most of them had baskets because I asked them, and they would send me things. And so I like this because it's got everything on it, and I've got 2 batteries for it that they sent me. They don't come with 2 batteries, okay? So that in case you order a Magicycle bike, they don't come with 2, but they gave me 2. But it's a big bike. It's not a small bike at all. I have a 30.5 to 31 inch inseam. I hit the top bar when I stand over it. I mean, I don't hit it, but I touch it, right? In places you don't want to be touched. Sorry for going across there. I had to get something off my sleeve there. And so, this, I don't know if they call this one a mid-step. I call it a step over because it's pretty tall up there. So you could do like the step through designs, but this one came in as a step over. It came in, if I recall, it came in during the winter months a couple years ago. And then even to doing the review for this bike, I had to wait a while because it was just too cold. I mean, you're talking January, I think, or something like that, it came in. I said, I can't go riding this bike. You can send it to me, I'm not taking it out. So I did some of it in the inside and indoors just to introduce it. And then when it hit around 50 degrees, I took it out. It's kind of like now, I'm kind of freezing to death right now. I've been out too long. This is my second battery ride for this bike, but what is the weather here? It's 59 degrees it shows, but the wind is blowing on you, and once that wind hits you, man, it feels colder than 59. I just have a sweatshirt on and I have my safety vest on. But I can feel it on my arms. It kind of goes right through the sweatshirt. All right, under load I'm at 80%. We got to get down to 70. I'm gonna be on this bike for a while. So what are we gonna do during the winter months? Yeah, well, during the winter months, I'm gonna do like I used to do. We'll go to the green screen again. We'll run some video in the background of me riding, and then we'll be inside talking about various things about e-bikes, of course, and maybe other topics. And that'll keep us busy for the winter months. I mean, it's not winter yet, but it's gonna get there, People still have Halloween decorations out. I don't know how long they're allowed to keep that out there. I know some of them have taken that down already. I've looked around and some of them they're gone already. So soon we'll be seeing some Thanksgiving ones, although not a lot of people do Thanksgiving. They don't do a whole lot of Thanksgiving decorations. I don't even know what you do on Thanksgiving. Well, I guess you would put What do they call those things? Is it called a cornucopia? Is that what it's called? I don't know what they call that. You know, the thing with the baskets and, you know, you put like dried out corn, multicolored corn. What do they call those things? I don't know what anything's called. They put those type of decorations out, right? And then soon it'll be Christmas decorations, right? Yeah. People do Christmas decorations, not so much Thanksgiving. But I was surprised this year all the Halloween stuff came out so early in the year. They're trying to get some mileage out of it because they buy these really big skeletons and things like that. You know, I recall seeing an article, or maybe it was a video that says, have Halloween decorations gotten too scary for kids? Yeah, I start to wonder about that. Some of those things are really scary looking. If I was a little kid, I'd go, I don't know if I want to go to that house. Kind of scary. I mean, fun Halloween things is the one thing. Scary Halloween things, I don't know. Might be too intense for little kids. A little too scary. Little kids should have fun. Scare them to death. Some people have fun scaring them to death, I guess. I don't have fun scaring kids to death. Nope. All right, what else has been going on lately? This year has been the year of e-bike regulations. Yeah, it really has. I feel bad about that because, you know, it makes people not want to ride e-bikes. And that shouldn't be the intent. I know a lot of content creators are talking a lot about e-bike laws and regulations. I know I've done my share of talking about it, trying to keep people informed of what's going on, but I think that information has also driven the industry to have more regulations, you know. And many bikes are faster than they probably should be by law, and that drives more regulation, right? Reckless riding definitely drives regulation. You know, you gotta be responsible at least. I've done, for a good chunk of this year, tried to stay within the 20 to 23 miles an hour range, which is my norm. It really is my norm. So I try my best not to do really fast anymore. I try to stay within a certain speed. You know, I'm always on the street too, as you know. I don't have any problems, but I'm riding. If you notice, there hasn't been a whole lot of cars on the road here, right? I'm riding my bike typically in side streets where there's not a lot of traffic going on, and I pick times of the day that people are out working. They're not really driving around. So for me, the street riding isn't such a big deal. Other areas would be another story. I mean, you could be in an area where your town is just like constant traffic. It would be very difficult for people to ride streets, and it's turning into the point where they're telling a lot of e-bike riders, you've got to ride the streets. You cannot ride on the sidewalks. You can't ride on the bike paths. You know, all that type of thing. So I feel bad. I feel bad that this is where we're headed. That's why I kept saying, I mentioned on the More from Russ channel at least, that regulations are getting to the point where I think, you know, for those who want to ride faster than 20 miles an hour, you might want to start looking at buying a bike that can convert 20 to 28, because I just have a gut feeling eventually e-bike companies might actually stop making bikes that can convert from the class 2 to class 3. In which case, the older bikes can do that, the newer bikes might not be able to do that. I'm not spreading rumors that this is what's happening, but I'm just saying it could, just based on seeing all the regulations they're putting on the manufacturers and things. And UL approval on batteries is becoming more prevalent, right? I don't know if I mentioned it on Russ is Right, or maybe More from Russ, More from Right. More from Russ, that just because they say that, you know, you need UL batteries doesn't mean UL actually has to do the actual certification. No, there are companies that will do the testing and test it to the UL certification standards. And many of the companies out there will use those instead of actually using UL, simply because it takes a long time to get UL approval. It costs a lot of money to get UL approval. So many of the companies now are just saying, let's find another outside source that does the approvals to that standard, and then just let you know that it's rated for UL, not necessarily tested by UL. Okay, so, and not all of them are legit either, so you have to really kind of know your stuff. So some companies, though, specifically will send it to UL for the approval. And you know, for those companies, they spent some money to do it, you know, and it takes time. It doesn't happen really quickly. So that's the deal. Where are we at? 78% under load. This thing's not dropping fast enough for me. I'm really freezing here. I need this thing to get down to at least 70. Even under load, at least 70. Then I'll take a break and then go back out and drop it a little bit more. All right, anyways, that's about all I have for you guys for this video. I just wanted to turn the camera back on as I took out the second battery. And then the Magicycle Deer will be done. Then we move on to the next bike. There's one bike after the next that I have to do this to. All right, before we leave, let's go a little bit faster. I'm gonna take it onto one road and we'll just crank it up a little bit here. Everyone's stopping here because they all think I'm gonna go first. This is what happens. Everyone comes to a standstill. Everyone comes to a standstill. But the minute they see the bike, nobody wants to be the guy that runs over the guy in the bike. Easiest thing for them is just stop and wait until the bike guy goes. At least in this area. Not all areas do that. Some areas, they don't care less and run you over right over. All right, let's go a little quicker here. So I'm gonna throttle this up. Let's hit a little bit of speed just to finish this thing off. Let me angle down a little bit so you can see. Yeah, you're breaking the law, Russ. Yeah, we know. But we gotta get a little speed under the gun here. .1. Bring you back up here. 29.1. I had to do it at least once. At least once more. All right, I'll take a left here. All right, this guy's gonna let me go, so I'm gonna go. Say thank you. All right, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.